residents in a southwest Houston neighborhood are just fed up with the crime that they say have been taking over their streets.
Abigail Dye is here with us to explain what's going on. Abigail.
Well, these residents, they live in this area that is just near the 3rd Ward, just about southwest of that area. And they tell us that along Bray's Bayou near the Gulf Gate neighborhood is where they've been dealing with all kinds of crime. And one man even had a bullet come through his wall into his bathroom. Now, this happened over the weekend. Take a listen to the security video that caught that. And we're told that shots ringing out like that isn't uncommon. The residents we spoke with tell us their neighborhood has seen an uptick in homeless encampments, prostitution, theft, and of course, all of these shootings. The man who had that bullet come through his wall says that he's hoping the city steps up before someone is seriously hurt.
We're sleeping maybe less than 10 to 15 feet away from this bullet entering from where the angle that it came in at. So immediately I'm thinking about my wife and whether or not one of us could have literally died that night from the shot entering the house, just because of that's how close it was to the area that we sleep. And so it's a scary feeling to know that I'm living in this neighborhood and that nothing's being done about this particular problem, and that there's also kids in this neighborhood. You know, I've lived a pretty good life, but it's more the kids that are in this park and in this area that I'm really worried about.
They'll be on a motorized vehicle and be shooting in the bayou all the way down towards U of H. It's just like a constant, you know, shoot. I don't know if they're shooting at each other or they're shooting for recreation, but it's a real problem. It's been really bad the last 4 or 5 months.
This kind of crime is happening as much in different neighborhoods like River Oaks or the Heights, and they just want the same kind of treatment and patrol in their neighborhood.
So is that all that they're asking for right now?
Essentially, when we were speaking to the residents, they were saying that they feel like a beat cop on the in the area would really help, which isn't necessarily a bad idea. They also want more patrols and more lights.
Anytime there's a police presence, definitely a deterrent too.
All right. Yeah.
Abigail, thank you.
Thanks. Absolutely, thanks.
Now to some breaking news. A man suspected of sexually assaulting a University of Houston student is now in custody.
Now, this is a photo of Eric Brown just moments after police caught up with him. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore is live downtown to tell us how officers found him, what seems like finally after days of searching.
That's right. Eric Brown is in custody. He was arrested here at the Edo platform at Texas and St. Emmanuel right behind me. The 40-year-old was on a 10-day run after he allegedly sexually assaulted a University of Houston student at knife point inside the Welcome Center garage just after 6 p.m. Metro says one of their police officers monitoring cameras recognized Brown, who was walking on light rail tracks. He was arrested at the Edo platform at 2:48 p.m. and taken into custody without incident. Just a couple of hours earlier, Crime Stoppers, the Harris County DA, and the University of Houston police chief held a press conference explaining how they were all hands on deck to locate Brown. Many concerns were brought to the U of H police chief about how his office handled the initial arrest and release of Brown. U of H police chief Cesar Moore admitted there were some communication issues.
Obviously, there could have been better communication. I think it's a communication issue, timing issue, shift change issues. You know, I think a lot of things came into play, but the bottom line, it was a communication issue. So this is not the hot wash moment. The moment now is to make sure we take care of the survivor, get the guy off the streets, and then communicate that once that happens.
Now, Harris County DA Sean Tier says Brown could face up to life in prison for 3 first-degree felony charges he's facing. Reporting from downtown Houston, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
Well, the University of Houston did release a statement that says in part, while this arrest provides some relief, our work to enhance campus security continues. We have increased police presence, expanded security protocols, and strengthened partnerships with local law enforcement to ensure a secure environment for our campus community. Well, a young man whose life was forever changed by an intoxicated driver is sharing his story for the first time publicly.
Fox 26's Dominique Keith introduces us to Jeremiah Lewis.
It changed my life when I just looked down and my legs just weren't there anymore.
It was February 13th, 2021, around 4:30 a.m., and 23-year-old Jeremiah Lewis had just gotten off work from his second job and ran out of gas. He was pushing his truck to a gas station when another driver,
going over 80 miles an hour, and just slammed into me. No brakes, no skid marks, no nothing. Shot me forward and lost my legs on impact.
He lost his legs out there, and they brought the legs with them to the hospital, and that's why I know it's a miracle they didn't think he was going to make it, and that's what they told me over and over again. And my husband gathered us together, we held hands, and we prayed.
According to court records, the woman who hit him, La Aisha Foxworth, had traces of marijuana and alcohol in her system.
What was she charged with, and how much time did she get?
She was charged with aggravated assault, which resulted in serious bodily injury, and her sentence was 8 years probation. Just whatever she got will never equate to the damage she's done to me. But I would like to see justice done and her be in jail and know at least a little what it's like to lose her freedom like a lost mine.
Jeremiah's mom, Lucretia Lewis, gave Foxworth a necklace and bought one for herself.
I gave her a photo of my son with his legs, one without his legs, and I also gave her some spiritual material, and I told her that if she ever needed a church home, that we would be there for her.
Why? Why would you be there for her?
Because Jesus is there for me.
All right, so which one of y'all ready to lose? My life is pretty much on a battery. And if this runs out, that means that I'm stuck like Chuck. I can't do nothing. So it really just showed me how much independence I've lost, even with this magnificent chair. And I loved football. I loved playing football. And when I got to high school, I fell in love with wrestling too. So I did them both. And I was very proficient. My nickname was Hercules.
Jeremiah still works out, hopes to get a job, get married, and dreams of having his own family.
You've had 23 surgeries?
23 surgeries, and I might need to have more. It's just the way it goes. I suffer from very bad neurological pains.
You can do anything because God never fails.
I'm Dominique Keith, Fox 26 News.
On tonight's Breaking Bond, a 24-year-old defendant free from jail on 5 bonds when he allegedly caused the fentanyl death of a 16-year-old is once again a free man.
Fox 26's Randy Wallace joining us live in the studio with the latest in his ongoing series. Randy.
Yeah, Rashi, Omarion Bailey is one of those defendants with the dubious distinction of being out on bond before being charged with murder and being out on bond after being charged with murder.
In January of last year, we told you how Omarion Bailey was free from jail on 5 bonds.
He's on bond for stalking. He's on bond for retaliation. He's on bond for DWI.
The stalking allegations, they were pretty serious. There were death threats, alleged death threats.
You can't put this on TV. Let's just put it that way.
According to court documents, Bailey sent 182 text messages to his ex-girlfriend between 3 a.m. and 4:47 a.m. on August 21st, 2023. The text included threats like, "I'm putting you in the hospital on a stretcher."
This isn't like an unrequited Romeo and Juliet type of thing. This is a dangerous, allegedly dangerous human being that's writing these.
Last January, Bailey was charged with fentanyl murder by delivery of 16-year-old Cooper Cullen Cash Root. Some say if Bailey's bonds were set higher for the other felony charges, the teen might be alive today. 263rd District Court Judge Melissa Morris originally set Bailey's bond for the fentanyl murder charge at $250,000.
Then gets reduced to $150,000. Then can't make that, so let's drop it again, see if you can make that. Then it's $100,000.
Bailey was able to post that bond. During his months of freedom, court records indicate he continuously violated his bond conditions. Cooper's parents, Tim and Annette Root, told us, quote, by allowing Mr. Bailey to be free from jail on bond and allowing him to violate the conditions of that bond with no repercussions, the legal system is complicit in endangering additional Houston children and potentially devastating other families like he did to ours.
Bailey's next scheduled court appearance is March 25th. Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
Well, a major federal crackdown underway targeting the outlaw motorcycle gang known as the Bandidos.
10 Houston area members of the gang have been indicted for engaging in organized crime, which includes murder. Fox 26's Greg Rugen here live to tell us what's unfolding. Greg.
Rushing, Caroline, violent, brazen, and vicious, all words used by federal law enforcement officers to describe the Bandidos, a gang which has waged war on rivals challenging their so-called monopoly in the greater Houston area. U.S. Attorney Nicholas Ganji says the 22-count felony racketeering charges announced today cap a 6-year investigation into crimes including arson, assault, robbery, and murder, all perpetrated by members of the Bandidos engaged in an ongoing turf war to maintain their dominance over a gang known as the Beast. Ganji says the ongoing violence was often indiscriminate, threatening the safety of innocent members of the public.
The Bandidos sought to exert a monopoly on motorcycle clubs and gangs in the Houston area, which could only operate with their blessing and with their permission. Perhaps the most striking aspect of the criminal conduct alleged in this case was how open and brazen it was. The alleged assaults and shootings took place in public spaces, in bars, in restaurants, motorcycle dealership, and on our public roads.
Over the past 5 years, Fox 26 has reported multiple acts of violence involving the Bandidos and their rivals, including ambush-style attacks and multiple fatalities. Today, FBI Special Agent in charge, Doug Williams, says the Bandidos were operating under a standing order from their national leadership to attack rival Beast members on site.
Make no mistake, members of this Bandidos chapter are not the glamorized characters you've seen in TV shows and in the movies. These are vicious, violent men who regularly put innocent people in life-threatening situations to further a senseless turf war.
Among those arrested and charged, the president of the Bandidos Welcome to Hell chapter based in Katy. Now, if convicted, many of the defendants face a maximum sentence of life in prison. In the studio, Greg Grugan, Fox 26 News.
2 teenage girls are now in custody after allegedly plotting a mass casualty attack at Memorial High School. Denise Middleton joins us here in studio with the details on this investigation by multiple agencies, including the FBI. Denise?
That's right. FBI sources tell us the threats at Memorial High School were in the planning stages and, quote, absolutely credible and not hoax threats. Now, Spring Branch ISD's chief says the girls planned to place pipe bombs on campus and shoot up students. The threats were reportedly found on social media and were extremely detailed, which is what led police to believe it was credible. One of the students is a 15-year-old Willis High School student, the other a 16-year-old who attended Memorial High. Neither student has been named, but the 16-year-old has been charged with making a terroristic threat, which is a felony. The Willis student is in custody on unrelated charges. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is investigating the case and released a statement saying in part, quote, the safety and security of our schools and community remain our highest priority. We understand the concerns this situation may cause for students, parents, and faculty, and we are taking every necessary precaution. Additional security measures have been implemented, and we continue to work closely with school officials and our law enforcement partners to ensure a safe environment, end quote. Now, law enforcement officials have urged the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity. Reporting live in the studio, Denise Middleton, Fox 26 News.
Well, a mother says that her middle schooler narrowly escaped being kidnapped. The terrifying incident was reported to have happened in Northwest Harris County in the neighborhood near Fairbanks North Houston Road and Fairbanks White Oak. Now, that's where we find Fox 26's Donnelly Keith, who caught up with that family.
Yeah, it happened here along Woodland West Drive. A 12-year-old boy was headed to the bus stop, and he says a white van pulled up, and before he knew it, he says several men got out and began chasing him.
So I was just walking to the bus stop, and I ended up seeing his van.
Did he say anything to you?
Yeah, he was trying to get my attention, but I didn't.
And how was he trying to get your attention?
Like, he kept going, like, telling me to come here to him.
So he was in the van and he was telling you to come here?
Yeah. I ended up seeing 5 guys get out of the van.
And they were right down this way?
Yeah, they were down over there. And that's when I started running, like, down there all the way to the bridge. Then when I seen the guys get out, I panicked, like, real quick and started running. I started walking behind houses to see if I could, like, get away from them, to lose them.
Erica, you've been canvassing the neighborhood looking for anybody with any home surveillance video of what happened?
Yes, I have. I've been walking from house to house. That's one of the guys I was chasing him. That's him running over there, and then that's him running back.
And the guy is running on the outside of the fence?
Yeah, he is.
I went under the bridge, jumped in the water, and luckily they didn't see me. But when I got out, it was windy and real cold. I was scared.
Describe how frightening this is for you.
It was really scary. I never thought it would happen to me. But as soon as I'm sorry, I'm already going to start crying. But as soon as the officer came to my house, he's like, your son was about to get kidnapped. And he ran to me and he gave me a hug. He was scared. Like, I could even feel him shaking. He couldn't even speak.
I want these guys caught so that they don't try doing the same thing to other kids.
The Harris County Sheriff's Office confirms detectives are investigating. In Northwest Harris County, I'm Damalie Keith, Fox 26 News.
A man who lives in Kemah is facing aggravated sexual assault charges. He allegedly attacked a 26-year-old woman he met on Tinder.
Fox 26's reporter Leslie Delaspore spoke to one of his former students. And Leslie, what did she tell you?
Yeah, we talked with that former student. She didn't want to be identified, but she says the crime fit the person she knew.
He said, think of me as a stepfather. He would comment on some of the females' bodies. There was this rather small girl in the class, and he would comment on her tiny figure and stuff.
One woman says she wasn't shocked to hear the allegations against Charles Fennell, her former professor here at Lee College in Baytown. According to Lee College, Fennell has been on administrative leave since October 2024.
I had school multiple times that I had found his conversations within the classroom very inappropriate. Oftentimes there was sexual innuendo that was well beyond the scope of what you should hear from a college professor.
According to the Kemah Police Department, it was here at Frankie Carter Randolph Park where 56-year-old Fennell and a 26-year-old woman met. But hours later, things turned violent, all because someone swiped right on Tinder. According to Kemah Police, after meeting at the park, the 26-year-old then came here to Fennell's house on Bay Avenue in Kemah for dinner. According to Kemah PD, Fennell made unwanted advances and the victim tried to leave. Then Kemah PD says that Fennell allegedly strangled and sexually assaulted the victim. Fennell's attorney says he maintains his innocence, saying in part, quote, the facts will reveal that he did not commit this offense. These allegations are objectively false. Text messages exist that shed light onto the falseness of this allegation.
Well, I'm a mother, and I would see how he would interact with some of the younger students in the class, specifically the females, and I got that heart-wrenching feeling that you get when you don't want someone around your child.
Well, it has been 2 months since a hit-and-run crash killed a 61-year-old woman.
A $5,000 reward is being offered for information that leads to an arrest.
Fox 26's Jonathan Mejia is live in West Houston. And Jonathan, what is the family hoping for?
Yeah, I spoke with Lilia Vasquez's family, and they're wanting this driver to turn himself in. They tell me they should be able to grieve privately and not publicly in front of the media. Houston police and Crime Stoppers are asking for the public's assistance to identify the person responsible for the murder of Lilia Vasquez. On December 13th, Vasquez, an avid runner, was running on the 9200 block of West Park Drive, just past Fondren, when she was struck by a truck. The driver drove away without rendering aid, and Vasquez died as a result of the major injuries she sustained.
From the tragedy and the violence of it, I think, is the part that really keeps us from being able to fully move forward and honor her life in a happy way and with memories.
Vasquez is remembered as a mother, wife, and athlete who always made herself available to those who needed her, but also for being a fighter. It's that spirit that is fueling her daughter, Mariana Vasquez, in her fight for justice.
I don't plan on stopping fighting. I feel like this is what she would have done, and this is what she taught me. So all of this strength that you see here is all from her.
Lilia was married for 15 years to Steve. They are believers, and Steve hopes that the driver in the hit and run can find repentance and take responsibility.
We want justice. There's no, that's no hedging from that. But we also believe that when you do repent, when you open yourself up, and you take responsibility, that mercy is available to you.
I think she would be really devastated watching us go through this, and she's always been our rock. And it's just been terrible not having my rock, going through the worst experience of my life.
Anyone with information is asked to contact Houston Police or Crime Stoppers. We have all that information on our website at fox26houston.com. I'm live in West Houston. Jonathan Mejia, Fox 26 News.
A man is dead after an altercation with a possible love triangle, and that's according to police. Fox 26's Abigail Dye is bringing us the story from North Houston, just south of 249, where this happened on the 2700 block of Donna Allen.
Right here on this block is where a man took his life after police say he shot his ex and then tried to gun down his ex's partner. Now, this video is from 11:30 a.m. and it's hard to see, but right behind this tree branch is where the shooter is standing. He's talking to the victim, who's standing inside the door of that black sedan. And this is where we'll pause the video. We'll continue to let the audio play. It tells its own story. Now in the video, you see the gunman run off in this direction, and then you see the victim crawl back into his car, and he drives off in the opposite direction. He ends up getting to a 7-Eleven and then to the hospital. While that's happening, the gunman is chasing the victim's partner down this direction, and I'll let a witness take it from here.
It was a hunting down, definitely. And had he not, I guess, swerved or whatever he did to miss a bullet, I don't know. All I can say is maybe it was God that told him which way to go, because he was literally still shooting at this guy as he was running. They're running in front of us. I see the guy running for his life, and I see the other guy with the gun in his hand. And I'm like, I can't imagine. And I'm thinking, am I going to have to run him over? Not to be ugly, but I'm like, he can't kill this man like this. And so eventually I caught up with him on the road, tried to get him some help while we were calling 911, and they actually were able to pick him up.
That man wasn't shot and he got away safe. Now this video shows the gunman returning to the front of the house right here where I'm standing, where he took his life just moments after this video was taken, and a huge police scene followed. Now police say that the victim who was shot is expected to survive, and they haven't ID'd the shooter at this point. For Fox 26 News, I'm Abigail Dye.